guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to another video. We are in a different room in my house today because the other room's a mess, so here we are. Okay, so today we're gonna start reading some books for Valentine's Day. So I thought we would read 2 romance books in this vlog, or DNF them, you know, because I don't really like romance. But I have a feeling that these could be 2 that I actually like. We'll see. So the first book we're going to start with right now is Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I read Bride towards the end of last year, and I actually really liked it. I never thought I would even pick up Bride, but the reason I read it is because I think I heard one review of somebody say it was actually kind of like funny and that the writing was really good. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars because I thought it was more of a fantasy than a romance. Like, yes, there's romance in it, but it's not like the romantasy that you hear about nowadays. It was really, truly kind of a fantasy book with a whole story that went with it. And it wasn't necessarily enemies to lovers in the way that we normally think of it as. I mean, yeah, they're kind of enemies because one's a vampire, one's a werewolf, and there's literally an arranged marriage that they have to be forced into. But it was good though. Like, the romance was good and the writing was good. It was my first Ali Hazelwood book, and I thought she was a pretty good writer. I also really liked the humor. I thought the main character was really clever and witty, and she reminds me of some of the main characters that I've written in some stories that I used to write in the past. I was like, oh my gosh, she sounds like the way I would write it. Not that I would write as good as her. No, don't think I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm going to continue in the series. So the only thing is, this book does not follow the same character. There's a character in the previous series named Serena who they're like trying to find, and she is apparently the main character in this series. And I'm glad, honestly. Well, it's a catch-22. I'm glad that she's the main character because the other story was over, right? Like, it concluded, and I didn't need another plot of them. Like, once the main characters get together, like in Fourth Wing, then I don't care about the sequel because they're already together, right? And then they try to make drama just for drama's sake. However, with Mate, my biggest concern, okay, good news though, it's about Serena and not the other main character from last book. The bad news is I don't like Serena. I didn't like her character in the first book. I mean, she's not even really in it very much, I guess, for me to really say. But like, I just didn't care about her, like that whole plot line with them trying to find her. It did not matter to me, really, honestly. So we'll see, but I'm assuming it's another... was she a human? See, now I've already forgotten. Like, I don't want to spoil anything. A human, oh yeah, I don't want to spoil it. So there is some weird stuff going on with her too, but she is clearly going to get together with a vampire, werewolf. I don't know. Let's just say there's humans, vampires, and werewolves. And I'll have to go back and read a little synopsis, I think, really quickly. But I'll let you know if this one's any good. And then my second book I have planned is Love of My Afterlife, which I don't currently have a physical copy of, but I'm going to try to attain one. I have the ebook and the audiobook, though. So how many versions of it does one need? You know, 3, I guess. The only reason I'm reading this one is Kayla from Books and Lala enjoyed it. And it's silly. It's like she, you know, dies and goes to like some afterlife, and they're like, oh, if you do this task, we'll let you come back or something. And then she like falls in love with somebody. I don't know. Apparently it's fun and kind of silly, but Kayla has let me down. Every book I've tried recently because of Kayla, I've not enjoyed. Like, Quicksilver was terrible, and she said it was good, and I hated it. And what was the other one? Oh, Kingdom of the Wicked, or Kingdom of the Feared, or whatever it's called. Is that what, Kingdom of the Wicked? I can't remember. Anyway, one of those books that are like that. I hated those. So I'm a little hesitant because I'm listening to her recommendation again, but I think it could work out because the cover's so pretty, right? Does that count? It's a pretty cover. So we'll try that one. But we're going to start with this one because at least it's fantasy, and I know I like the first one. So I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, we are starting Mate right now. And then I've got the audiobook, so I'm going to go on a very cold walk here soon and take it with me as an audiobook. So it's been 24 hours since I updated you, like exactly 24 hours. And I'm almost a third of the way through the book. I'm like 30% in. I know that because I'm also just listening to the audiobook. See, I'm on page 135, I think it is so far. So like, I'm doing pretty good for, you know, one day and my child's been home and stuff, and I've done some schoolwork because it's, you know, we're stuck at home again today. It's like, when are we ever going to go back to school? So I thought I was going to go back today, but apparently not. But it's February now, and I feel like I'm in the mood for this romancy type thing. I feel like I'm truly more in the mood for the other romance book instead of this fantasy romance. But I will say I don't like it quite as much as Bride, and I think it's because Bride had more plot. So the fantasy plot line was really good in Bride, in addition to the romance that I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. I don't care as much about the guy character in this one. Like, he's just kind of mean. He's just mean. He just he's not as cool as the guy from the first book. And I don't like the girl as much either, honestly, as I did the vampire girl. Probably because she's a werewolf, and I like vampires better than werewolves. You know, I was team Edward. Let's be real. But I mean, it's fine. And like the writing's still really good. It's funny. There are so many funny parts. I will read you some funny quotes from this in just a minute when I set the book down. But it's still pretty entertaining, and like I'm gonna keep reading it, but I'm kind of glad I'm doing the audio now because I can just sort of read it in the background, like listen to it in the background, because I don't know if I want to like focus my sole attention on it because it's not quite as good. It's on track to be like 3.5 stars because I still think it's better than average just because the writing's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's still good, but it's not as good as Bride. So I highly recommend just checking out Bride if you want like a funny, more fantasy, romancy type thing, but also some high stakes in it too. Oh, and I forgot to say that I love vampire, werewolf, human politics in books. And I wish there was more of that in this book because I think there was more of that in the first book too. It was more about the politics between those three factions of people, in addition to, of course, other things. But I love the underworld movies with Kate Beckinsale. The first two, like especially the second one, oh my gosh, those first two are like some of my favorite movies. So I think it's giving me those vibes. I mean, not the plot though, like the plot and like the vibe. The vibes are not anything like that. It's just the similarities between, you know, the different factions. I mean, that's really about it. Okay, I found a funny line to show you. So she's like, oh, I thought that, you know, this is not a spoiler, this is early on. She's like, I thought you liked me. And then she realized that he doesn't actually like him. She's like, oh, this is not an invitation. That is true, even though I'm not sure why I'm realizing it just now. Cohen is not hitting on me. He's not trying to cha-cha-cha real smooth into my life. So if you like that humor, he's not trying to cha-cha-cha real smooth into my life, then like you'll love this book. That's so me. That is my humor, and I'm going to totally love at least the writing in this book. Guys, from the looks of this snow, we are literally never going back to school. But look how pretty. It's like really pretty snow, and it's really coating the trees. Yeah, we're never going back to school, which means, hey, I get another snow day tomorrow. Yay, I can read some more. Okay, I have less than 100 pages left, and honestly, it's a little long, and I'm just kind of ready for it to be over. Coffee break time before we finish the book. We have Starbucks. Nothing like a sweet cream vanilla cold brew. Got a little bit of a headache, so I'm hoping this caffeine will help. I've got like 60 pages left. I am so close to being done. I'm going to try to finish it today so that we can start our last book, well, only our second book for this vlog, so that we can, you know, be in the Valentine's Day spirit even before Valentine's Day. Yeah, I was reading the steamy scenes. That was interesting. But honestly, this book is not as good. It's not as good as Bride. I keep saying it. I don't really care about the plot. I don't really like these characters, whereas I realize now I like both of the main characters in Bride. And I like the plot so much better. I mean, we've been over this so many times at this point, but I just keep saying the same things over and over. I don't want to spoil anything in this one, so I can't really tell you kind of where the plot goes, but it's just not very like interesting. It's not very much of a conflict. And I feel like the writer just like made up the conflict for like conflict's sake, you know, whereas the first one felt like it needed to be, the first story needed to be told. This story didn't need to be told. It was just extra because she could, you know. Okay, I'm trying to get my child dressed so that we can go to the library because we are returning this book and we're getting the next book because they have Love of My Afterlife. So I'm gonna go pick it up. But I just wanted to say that I gave this book 2 stars. No, I think I rounded up to 2.5. I just decided that the plot was just not good. The conflict was not good. The characters were not interesting. It was nothing like the first book. And the only thing I liked was the author's writing. So that's really all I have to say about that. And it was way too long. It took absolutely forever. The audiobook is over 14 hours long. And the next book I'm reading is 9 hours, I think. So yeah, we are ditching this book at the library right now. While my child's downstairs for like a second being quiet, I thought I would show you this book. I got Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood from the library. And it is so short, and I'm excited to read a short book. It's like 360 some pages. A little warped. I think there's something a little wrong with it. But anyway, so pretty. Ash, my son, said like, oh my gosh, this book is so beautiful. And I was like, you know what? It reminds me of cotton candy. So I thought together we could just read the plot synopsis because we don't know what it's about. So it says, a recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before 10 days are up. If she wasn't dead already, Delphi would be dying of embarrassment. Not only did she die by choking on a microwavable burger, she also now She's also now standing in her sparkle and shine nightie. Sorry, the neighbor's out and like, what is he doing? I don't know. It like distracted me and like in his backyard. Her sparkle and shine nightie in front of the hottest man she's ever seen, and he's smiling at her. So I'm getting the vibe that this is kind of funny. As they start to chat, everything else becomes background noise. That is, until someone comes running through a door yelling something about a huge mistake and sends the dreamy stranger back down to earth. And here Delphi was, thinking her luck might be different in the afterlife. When Delphi is offered a deal in which she can return to Earth and reconnect with the mysterious man, she jumps at the opportunity to find her possible soulmate and a fresh start. But to find him in a city of millions, Delphi is going to have to listen to her heart, learn to ask for help, and perhaps even see the magic in the life she's leaving behind. Oh, I didn't know that this was set in like the real world. I don't know where I thought it was like in the afterlife. So she has to go back to Earth and find him. It's got pretty decent reviews on the back. I don't know what the reviews on Goodreads are, so I'm also gonna have to look that up. But I'm gonna go start it and try to finish it before, okay, it just came out in 2024 too. I'm gonna try to finish this before Valentine's Day so that, like I said, we can get in the Valentine's Day spirit together. Okay, car update time, because once again, when else do I have time to update you guys? So, I am third of the way through this book. I'm mostly reading the audiobook, which I like because it's set in, oh, the light's already green, that was fast. It's set in England, and so the characters have, you know, British accents. So, like, I love that the narrator is actually British. This book is not what I expected. Like, it is kind of a romantic comedy, which I like that because it's like not taking itself too seriously. It's just supposed to be fun and lighthearted for the sake of being fun and lighthearted. The main character is like funny and quirky and kind of doesn't care about like what anybody else thinks. So it's pretty good. And she's also like never had a boyfriend. She's, you know, she's like 27 years old, and I didn't meet my husband until I was 29. So like I feel her. I'm like, yep, I feel you, girl. So like that's pretty funny. The scenes like sort of in the afterlife at the beginning I really liked because there's this like crazy angel girl, I don't even know, do they even call her an angel? But she's like her afterlife like sort of guide, who I thought was really funny, and she still kind of keeps making a reappearance even when the main character is back on Earth. But it's all happened really fast, like everything's happened really fast, so I don't quite know how the rest of the book is gonna take 2/3 more of the book to do what it's gonna do. But obviously she is looking for her soulmate because she met him very briefly in heaven, and the chick that's like her guide through heaven gives her this ultimatum kind of. It's like, okay, if you can get this guy to kiss you, if you can find him and get on Earth and get him to kiss you in 10 days, then you can go back to Earth and like be alive again and not be dead. And so that's what she's got to do. But there's like sort of I don't know how to say a plot twist, but there's something different going on than just that. And I didn't see it coming at first. I had like a little inkling of it. I was like, why would the author choose to do this one thing? Like she keeps like talking about this one thing and describing this one thing. And I was like, I think that that's going to actually be the plot of the book. So there's sort of another thing going on, and I don't want to spoil it, even though it happens really early on, because it was just a shock to me that that's actually what the book was about. So anyway, I'm kind of enjoying it, and yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's very just, I don't know, like fluffy. Who is it? Holly Hearts Books, one of the YouTube channels I watch, she calls them like cheeseburger books. It's just a cheeseburger book. That's what it is. It's like, or well, maybe it's Jade from JD Ray Reads. I don't know. One of my booktubers calls them cheeseburger books, and I can see that for this one because there's nothing very substantial about it. It's not going to stick with me like a cheeseburger. It's just going to make me hungry later on because it's not, I don't know, it's not very substantial. And that's what this book is, but in a fun, good cheeseburger kind of way. Okay, so I'm at lunch and I have to give you a quick update on my thoughts. What is that? Some random thing fell out. Anyway, I have to give you my thoughts on this book. I am nearly halfway done. I'm having such a fun time. It's like so fast paced and just so easily readable and quick. And especially when I compare it to Mate, I'm like, Mate was just so long. And like, I didn't really know about the time span of Mate. It wasn't like, there wasn't a time crunch, which I like this. You know, she has 10 days to find this guy and things keep happening where she can't find him. And then she has to go somewhere else and try and somewhere else and try. But it's not repetitive. I thought it would be. But each time there's like something different happening as to why she can't find the guy. And she's learning so much along the way and getting to like reignite hobbies that she liked and getting to know this like old man neighbor that she's got and meeting some new friends. And I mean, it's so fun. It's very just like heartwarming, which I guess in Mate, there was nothing except the romance, you know, like that was it. I mean, there was supposedly a little bit of a plot, but it was still all about the romance. Whereas this, it's like, I guess it's sort of just realistic fiction too, in addition to being romance, because clearly she is going to find love, I'm sure, based on how happy this book looks on the cover. She will find love, but she's finding so much more. And so I didn't think I normally like realistic fiction, but I like this. Well, guys, Ash just went to bed early, so I finished my book. I finished it. I meant to give you another update in between because I meant to tell you that I predicted the ending. Kind of. I thought for sure, I mean, it was like almost too obvious. Like, I think she wanted us to predict one part of the ending because if somebody didn't predict that thing, I feel like there were too many hints and clues. Like, it was really obvious. So I just, or maybe feel smart, I guess, because I was like, oh my gosh, I never predict the ending of anything. So I kind of predicted the ending, but then when it actually got to the ending, plot twist, and then like sort of another plot twist, I was like, what? And so I just didn't know how this thing, at the very, very end, even just the last few pages, I was like, who's living? Who's dying? What is happening? How's this thing actually going to end? It was so good, guys. This might be my favorite romance ever. I loved, oh, here it is, In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This was previously my favorite, which also plays with time. Not that this one necessarily plays with time, but it's just like, you know, an interesting kind of weird fantasy concept. And so this one is too, since it's like, you know, she has to like redo the same day, like over and over or whatever it was, or is that what it was? I mean, it's been that long since I've read it at this point, but I remember I really enjoyed it. And of course I can only read it around the holidays, obviously, but this one you could read it anytime. I'm going to buy this book. Like, I'm going to buy this and keep it on my shelves so that I can recommend it to people. It was the perfect length. It wasn't too long, wasn't too short. It was so wholesome and fun, especially compared to Mate, which was all just like the smutty romance part of it. This one was like true actual like romance though, and it has like so many romance tropes in it, but kind of like for a reason though. And I loved it so much. It is definitely not what I expected, and yeah, let's just say that what it says here is not even really the plot of the book. Like, that's why I liked it, because I had no idea where it was going, and everything that was happening was just so heartwarming and cute. Like, it was just really cute, and it was funny. So it's truly a romantic comedy, and it was a really, really good one. And it didn't take itself too seriously, kind of like Mate did. And yeah, and it was really well written too. Like I said, it was actually really funny. So I'm going to listen to Kayla from Books and Lala now because she was right. So just looking ahead, apparently I'm on board with romance. I literally found my heart sweater because, you know, it's almost Valentine's Day and I thought I need to be ready for it. So just to show you, I'm actually about to read another Ali Hazelwood book. I got a hold of it. Somebody loaned this to me. Somebody loaned me at our Super Bowl party. I was telling them about books I'd been reading and how I'd read Mate and all that. And they were like, oh my gosh, you have to read The Love Hypothesis. Because I feel like this is her most famous book. And of course, there's no fantasy element in it. And it's actually shorter too, less than 400 pages, but it's all like real life and stuff. So we'll see if I can do that. But I like sciencey stuff. I always liked science. I used to want to be a biology teacher instead of before I wanted to be an English teacher. So maybe this could be for me because it's like witty and fun and just very smartly written, as long as I like the characters, I suppose, and the plot. And then she also loaned me Vampire Academy, which is, I think, is young adult. Does this lady not look like Angelina Jolie? Like, I feel like that's totally supposed to be Angelina Jolie. Anyway, I feel like this is kind of fantasy romance. It's giving me Twilight vibes for sure when I read the back of it. I think it came out like right after Twilight did. I'm pretty sure it's Twilight knockoff from like the 2000s, like 2006 or something. So we will see. But I am on board now with a little bit more romance because of how just fun this was. And it only took a few days to read. You know, had I been in the summertime or something, I could have read this in like a day, maybe 2 days. So, and, you know, I just had to go to work. But I think I've learned that I'm going to read shorter romance and maybe romance that doesn't take itself too seriously, considering these are my two favorite romance books I've ever read. But I also did like Bride. Like, Bride is up there too because it was like fantasy romance though. I did enjoy Beach Read by Emily Henry. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, but these are probably the only romances I've ever given 4 stars. Yeah. This one I think is better than this one though. So it kind of makes me want to lower my rating of this one or move this up to like maybe this could be a 4.25. Oh my gosh. Is this going to be a 4.25? I think it is. I'll have to see. I don't know if it's going to be a 4.5, but I mean, as far as romance goes, it would be like top tier. It would be like 5-star compared to other romances, just not compared to everything else I read. You know, I'm not going to go around comparing this to The Will of the Many, which I'm also currently reading and I'm really enjoying it too, but in a totally different way. It's really hard to give things ratings. Like, why do I even do this to myself? Why do I even rate books? Because it's not accurate. Like, my enjoyment of this, I cannot compare the star rating for this book to like a high fantasy book. That just doesn't work. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching my journey of romance novels. I've regained my faith after how bad Mate was. The more I thought about Mate, the more I didn't like it. And the more I think about this book, the more I do like it. So at least we ended on a positive note, which is great because Valentine's Day, it should be happy, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.